then guys, so last week I headed over to Reddit and I wanted to ask you guys for some questions because I know some people have a lot of questions sometimes for me, and I thought it'd be easier just to make one big video about it. And there was some stupid questions and silly questions and stuff. I've tried to keep some of them out. I'm just going to go through one by one all the questions that I've got. Let's just go from here, I guess, see how it goes. First question I have is from Pixan. How did the Fanatic deal come about? What would you say are the main differences between Fanatic and other orgs you've been a part of? So the Fanatic deal had nothing to do with me, really. Everyone was just feeling a bit down after a shitty year, and people thinking about like, what's the future looking like for each other and individually and stuff. And then Tristan just out of the blue was like, yeah, I've been talking to Fanatic for a couple months, they're probably gonna sign us, let's just see how this goes. And everyone was just really gassed after that. Yeah, that's literally it. But the main differences between Fanatic and other orgs is just like, it just feels like, I don't even know how to describe it, so much more professional. There's so many people in Fnatic that you can talk to about all different things, and they help you out with so much stuff. They literally have people that sit there that can go through your computer and edit all your socials and your banners and all your backgrounds and stuff for streaming, and that making sure it's all correct. Yeah, and you just feel like there's just some like a sense of stability there, and everyone behind the scenes really nice. Second question from Arcanic Truth. He's got 3 actually. So let's just go through one by one. Why did you drop Meep? Seems like the worst decision you ever made. Obviously, from the outside, it does look bad, obviously, considering the season we had after that. I do think, though, if we knew how we were going to get treated after that all happened, none of these changes probably would have been made, at least in my opinion, simply because we were just promised a lot of things. They just went back on that. Yeah, so we were just stuck having one coach for the year when we're supposed to at least get like another analyst or a coach, whatever. Yeah, we just felt like a change was needed just because... obviously don't want to be too rude or whatever. We just weren't seeing eye to eye of how we wanted to play the game and go ahead moving forward for that stuff. Second question, how hard was it losing Spoit? Did the mental of the team go down after he left 1080? It was kind of a shock for most people. I think he spoke to me mainly like a few days before, just saying, oh, I've had this offer come through. Yeah, and obviously we didn't want to stop him chasing his dreams, whatever, let him do what he wants. Yeah, it definitely didn't help because obviously we were making 2 big changes already, and he was obviously supposed to be a part of that, staying a part of this big structure that we wanted to move it on forward. But after that, it's kind of hard to like mentally, obviously he's going, so that's whatever. But it's kind of mentally hard for players and people sometimes to want to just continue playing with that same, like those same people, like dead set in your mind, want to drop like Kanto, whatever. And Spoit's already choosing to leave after that. I couldn't see people like being able to just play with Kanto again. It was kind of already like a we have to move on type of thing. Final question: do you think Lair is a pro league level map, and do you think Oregon and Border should be removed? I think Lair could definitely get there. I've not played it in a while actually in ranked, but yeah, I really enjoyed playing Lair in ranked so far. Definitely could be in the pro league map pool. I don't see any harm in trying for like one stage or 1 year, whatever, either or. But removing Oregon or Border, I don't know. I feel like maybe other maps are a bit more stale. Like I know Oregon's kind of the same, and Border's... I don't know about Border, but like Cafe, for example, is very stale right now in my opinion. Could definitely do with removing that and trying something else. At least maybe reworking the map a little bit before. I don't know. Next question from Reveal Level. Toughest roster decision you were a part of? Probably the Kanto move. Like personally, I didn't want to make that move. Being a part of that was kind of rough in my opinion. I remember like we all got in TS or whatever. We told everyone, and like, I couldn't even bring the words out of my mouth because I felt like awful. So someone else had to say it. Obviously, everyone wants to like. I don't want to just have like someone else tell them, like the managers, whatever. Like I want it to come from like the players, whatever. Yeah, I couldn't even fucking talk. I couldn't even bring it out of my mouth because like I was on the verge of tears, to be honest with you. And afterwards, after the call, I did cry a little bit. Yeah, it definitely was an interesting day. Next question from SashK. Do you think the old team secret roster would have the potential to become a mainstay top EU team if you had stayed in or requalified for tier 1 before relegations became a once-a-year deal? Massive fan of the roster. Genuinely believe you guys are one of the best teams in Europe. Yes, an OG fan, SashK. I know you, brother. I remember back in the day. You still got the IDK flair in your name as well. The big up IDK. It's hard to say, because obviously we did have a good run in the majors, whatever. But we had like a shortcomings in Challenge League. I think if we qualified after Rrey, yes, just because of the roster we had. But I think the second time over with that roster, I don't think that would have been anywhere near as good as that. Just because like team was already on the verge of exploding already, and obviously with like Ferrell leaving last minute before the Challenge League season and stuff, just wouldn't have worked. But yeah, I don't know. It's tough to say what what could have happened. It would be nice to get like a Siege What If series. Yeah, I'm not quite sure, to be honest. Yeah, when it was like Feral LM, I think that would have done much better than second roster. But yeah, moving on. Not Charlie. How does your team deal with losses, and what do you think you need to improve the most? Obviously, I don't know how like my team may deal with losses and stuff, and losses for me vary. I think like when it comes to like a league, like your EUL and stuff, you just got to take that one on the chin, move on next game. You know, you've got like 8, 9 other teams to play, depending on the season, whatever. Yeah, and it's like a league format, best of ones. You know, you can't win all your best of ones, whatever. So you just got to get on with it, move on, win your game, lose your game, whatever. Go for the next game, keep going. A bit different when it comes to like playoffs, best of threes and stuff. Again, I don't really worry about those losses until like maybe say for example we're out of the tournament or out of the playoffs, whatever. Once I take those like type of losses, especially if it's like a tough loss, like for example against like Wolves or whatever the name was when we played them, Hungary's team, last in the LCQs, and we lose like that. I think normally I get upset, but I think this one I was just more pissed off. It felt like we're going into that game, people just weren't ready to win or like wanting to win. So it's very different, varying game to game. But yeah, normally I just kind of just got to take it on the chin. I've had many worse losses in my life playing Siege, so like losses like that are just whatever for me at this point, you know. Moving on. Rrey, the IDK18 says, how did you get such a cool background set up on your face cam? One of the best in the entire league with a Fanatic logo, neon sign, and the deep orange lights to the side. So, Fanatic logo here, obviously. I got that from the HQ. I just said to them, look, I've got my setup. This is what I want to do. Can I get a logo? They just went, yeah, take one from the boot camp, basically. They just said, take one from the office, take it home here. I kind of already knew how I wanted to set up this room before we bought this house. Like when I looked at the house and realized this was going to be like my office, I kind of just went into like a little 3D rendering website and kind of got it set up generally how I'd want it. And it's getting there. It's definitely, I think there's still some things I want to improve on it. I'm still thinking maybe turn this whole back wall into just wood instead of like having the grey paint then the panels. I'm not sure yet. You have to let me know in the comments if you think that's better or not. But yeah, I've got these acoustic panels from B&Q, and then these are the Govee light bars, whatever. I'll put like a picture on screen so you can see them, and I'll put a link in the description as well if you want your own. And yeah, I just stuck them in the corners, and I think it just made a very nice, it just very tones out the room a lot. Obviously still a few things I want to add, like shelves and memorabilia, all that type of stuff. But once I've got it all set up, I'll make sure to get a setup video out, whatever I need to do. Show you guys around the whole thing, because I think, like you said, like when you have your own space and like it's a space you know you can do whatever you want to it, it's a lot easier to make it look good. And I like putting in that extra time because it feels special. Moving on. Aggressive River 946. You get asked by an org to build a team that features you on the roster. What are the other 4 players you're picking? I think it would have to be, I remember someone replying to this one saying, can't be your own team. So I'll honour that and not do my own team, but I will have people from there, I think. So straight off the back, I'd have to keep Biggie. Our boy. He's just unreal. Love him. And then, who else? Spoit. Love Spoit, obviously, like back in the day, Rogue and that, you know the vibe. Who else would I get? I think it'd have to be Benjamaster. Kid's unreal. Still unreal. No matter what people say, like he's always going to be like one of those insane players throughout his whole career. And I'd love to play with him one day in comp, whenever that may be, or if it ever happens. But final part of this roster. That's a tough one. Not quite sure. Trying to think of like that mid flex player that you can get, because obviously you've got the 2 aggro entries, 2 back players. You need someone in the middle. If I want to keep it easy, I'd say like Jegs, because he's just been unreal. I think people really underrate him, especially when it comes to actually playing and stuff. Like obviously he has his moments, but like people don't see that behind the scenes, like how unreal he can be. But I don't want to be boring. I want to spread out a little bit. Hard to say. I can't actually think of anyone right now. You know what? If I think of someone, I'll come back. But that's the 5 I'd have right now. Usab 101. Dokkaebi is getting nerfed/reworked soon. How would you go about doing it from both a Pro League and casual based perspective? Straight away, make her a 2-speed. Doesn't need to be a 3-speed for whatever reason that is. Get rid of the phones ringing when you're dead. Unnecessary. Revert back to when Echo doesn't get rung. I think that's all you really need to do, to be honest. Other than that, I think she's okay. I think just having her constantly buffed for no reason was the main issue. Like she was completely fine before those 3. Next, Drakon Army. My favourite ex-teammate. There's a lot of them. Probably crying, to be honest. I do miss him a lot every day. Like, not even just because he was an insane player, just because, you know, we got on so well. We had so many good moments together, obviously, within Berlin. Going through our ups and downs throughout Rogue and Koi, whatever. And we always just, you know, had a good time together at boot camps, whatever that may be. stuff like that. And yeah, he was just like my brother, you know, like genuine, like love that guy so much, even if we can't talk as much these days because we're busy with life or whatever. But yeah, like having to not play with him anymore is kind of rough. Yeah, and wish he could have played with us still, but yeah, things happen. Next one, from Me Game Trade. What do you think is the biggest strengths and fault as a player? My biggest strength and fault. I think one that is a big strength and fault at the same time is like my attitude, or not attitude, but like energy. I guess I should say my energy when coming into games. You know, if I've got big energy and I'm excited, ready to play, everyone kind of bounces off that. But at the same time, if it's not really there as much, you know, have a bit less energy as well. So it's hard for them to bounce off me and do things that they maybe normally wouldn't have done or whatever. Because you know, energy is a big thing. One thing as well, also with strengths and faults, like as a mix. Probably IGLing, like I've been working on my craft quite a bit recently because this year we're playing like a different play style to how we played like the last 2 years. So like for me as an IGL, it's been quite hard to actually transition into like getting my IGLing style into this new play style because it's just two different ways of playing the game. Being able to blend them a little bit been kind of hard, and I think that kind of shows a lot of the times when we're playing and stuff like an attack. Definitely been working on that the last couple of weeks or months, whatever. It's improving a lot. Sometimes it's hard to say. I think sometimes as well, obviously I play a bit too aggressive. I think last stage I probably had like my least aggressive season ever, which was good. Good for me. Yeah, sometimes I'll like overheat still and die unnecessarily, whatever like that may be. Strengths as well, like that could also be, you know, a strength, being like an aggressive support player, like not just sitting in the back of sight all round. Or if someone's having an issue, I'm up with them trying to help them, you know, I'm not just sitting there letting them die. And I think as well, like being like a team leader can be quite hard sometimes, but I think that's one of my good strengths. I feel like I can gather the boys up pretty well, and they trust me and to do the right thing, and they trust what I call, what I say, no matter what. And, you know, at the end of the day, to them, like I've said before, if I call something and they die, lose around, it's not their problem. I've told them what to do. That's my fault. Hard to say other than that, really. I'm not quite sure. Obviously, it's kind of hard to like self-reflect a lot of the time because you don't think about all the bad all the time. So yeah, maybe that's a question I should ask my teammates. I can get them maybe to answer them as well in another video. Next question is a big one. Alligators suck. Says, always wanted to know the team atmospheres between your team and org stints ever since Rogue. Obviously the major win was a highlight. I'm not here for your shortcomings as a team, but I think nonetheless curious to accept the team dynamics that have hurt or benefited your experience. Core of Deepek, Ryan, and you has been consistent since Rogue, but the ins and out of the fifth seats popped out to me. Obviously, like you said, like 2022 towards like SI 23, like before we made any changes, like the atmosphere was pretty good. I'd actually say from like November, December 22 to like SI 23, like the environment was not that good. Like people getting very pissed off with each other, arguing a lot. You know, we had different ideas of how we wanted to do the game, stuff like that. And yeah, I'd actually say we went into that SI not actually at our fullest potential, and we still came out pretty good. Yeah, but after that, like the mentality and overall atmosphere for like the whole 2023 was pretty low, just because we got fucked over, and it was very hard for us to be able to actually like make the changes we want or have the players we wanted just because we weren't allowed it. Yeah, we're just trying to build back that like chemistry or like fun atmosphere again in the team. You know, like we said, we've got the players that we want now and the people we want to be around. So just being able to like, you know, meet up a lot and have a good time playing and scrimming together has been a thing we're trying to get along with, and I think it's been going really well. Definitely something that we're trying to improve on. I think like obviously like one dynamic or two dynamics for me has been like Biggie, Tristan, like two different ones as well. That has definitely benefited the team just because we have like such a strong connection now, like especially me and Biggie when we're playing together. Like it's so seamless when we're in like a 2vx that we know what we're doing, we're talking to each other. We're just trying to build upon that as well with all the new guys. I guess you could call them new guys, whatever, you know what I mean. Anyway, next question is from Philip. He says, have you improved at giant chess into your game on the Friday eve of the Manchester Major? Now, people that don't know, at the Manchester Major, we went to a bar, and me and my friend were playing each other at big chess, and we were just playing, having some fun, and then all of a sudden, someone come along, helped my friend, and then two guys saw that happening and went, hang on a minute, we're not having any of that, we're going to help Leon out. So basically, it was just me and my mate playing, but we were getting absolutely bot AI told what to do by these other fucking people that know how to play the game properly. And we were just basically the pawns playing the game, and they were telling us what to do, and I won eventually. So yeah, definitely not improved since, but I should play some more chess maybe on stream, whatever. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. Anonymous421 says, what are your thoughts on the 3-round quarter system and sites being locked when played instead of 1? I do quite enjoy the 3 quarter round system. I've not actually watched E3 yet, but I do think it's an interesting concept. I just think the rules and stuff will have to be adjusted. I don't really think the rules are correct, like how I think they should be with this system. Like I think, you know, you should be able to like unlock bomb sites after rotations and stuff instead of like locking when they're played. Like it should still be when they're won. stuff like that. Definitely an interesting system. I think just, some rules need to be tweaked. Next question is from Krust, and he said, what do you think your team needs to do to take the next steps and make them major? And what problems do you believe your team has that needs to be fixed for stage 2? I think the next steps for us is just kind of figured it out ourselves. Like, we don't have like a star player, in my opinion, like as other teams might have that one individual Fanatic player that can just carry the whole team. So we need to step up as individuals and as a team to make sure that we're stronger in other aspects, like, teamwork, coordination, all that stuff, other stuff that actually pushes teams to be better. Because we don't have that one player, I think if we're really good at those other two things, that third thing doesn't really matter, because we're all just going to be consistent as fuck. And we're just going to make sure we're all playing, as best as we can. I think that's definitely something we could do to push us to that next level. Yeah, I think our main letdowns from stage 1 was probably just everyone in the team's not really won in a while. Like, obviously me, Biggie have not really done anything since SI23. Jegs, Tyrant have not really ever made like deep runs into majors or won much. So I think just not being able to win as a team yet properly, and or even as individuals, is kind of holding us back a little bit. So I'm hoping that maybe a little boot camp while playing some tier 1 games, hopefully qualifying for like the EWC with joining the boot camps, whatever, kind of push us into that next step and direction that we want to be in, where we don't have to worry about that so much, and we'll just be a bit easier coming into like these more high tense games. Next question is from Red Wing, and he says, how do you feel about the old Leongids isn't so great? Are you kidding me, copy pasta? That was a cold copy pasta, and we should bring that back, especially if I'm popping off. Yeah, some memories from back when I first started playing. Yeah, definitely a classic copy pasta. Moving on. When are you winning that major you're talking about? You mean this one right here? Yeah. You tell me, brother. Next question from Beaming Heretic. Are you coming to terms with the fact that without Spoit you would have no trophies or accomplishments despite being in the scene for 5+ years? Well, we all know that's wrong for one. We just want to pull up the DreamHack Valencia win, Allied Minor win. Was it like 3 or 4 top 4 major finishes, top 2 in Europe, once first in Europe another time. I'm pretty sure I had multiple stats where I was going at least +40 in these major events as well. Yeah, I mean, what has Spoit done without me? I mean, ever since he left, he's done fuck all as well. Moving on. Which player have you had the strongest sexual tension with? Not counting the obvious answer, Spoit. I think the obvious answer is crying. And it is crying. A lot of times you'd be sitting there trying to grab me in ways you don't want to know. Slapping my ass, whatever. Or even come up to me sometimes and just want to squeeze my belly or whatever. It felt very weird. Yeah, there was a lot of like sexual tension there, I guess. It was kind of funny though at the same time. Final question I have right now from Hubris Star. Who's your favorite player? If you're talking about like personality wise or getting along wise, it's got to be Biggie, I think. We've played together now for like 2.5 years, and we've always just had a great laugh. Never really had any arguments or like had any disagreements. We always like come see eye to eye, and we see the right ways of how we want to play the game together. And I don't think I really had that with anyone before. I think it's probably got to be like one of the longest standing like teammates I've had apart from like Meep. Yeah, it's nice to have someone like that while you're still playing, just so you have someone you can properly trust. Obviously, I'm not saying I don't trust my current teammates, but yeah, I just know I can rely on Biggie if things don't go too well. Right, that's it for all your questions, guys. If you have any more questions that maybe have sparked your mind, leave them in the comments. I'll try to answer them in the comments, or maybe I'll make another video like this soon. If you did enjoy, make sure you leave a like, comment if, like I said, on your questions, subscribe, all that good stuff, boys and girls, and everyone else in between. If you enjoyed this content, so yeah, I'll be making more of these soon if people enjoyed it. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.